I'm Ton Rose, and I'm here at the California CPA show, where we are continuing our 2003 Accounting Trends video. I'm here right now with Rod Allan, who is the Vice President of Business Development for Professional Investment Services. There's a local broker-dealer for professional securities and advisory services, Leon Del Par, who's also a CPA. So we wanted you to tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your company, Rod.
Okay, well, I guess we're an Australian-based company that has been very successful in bringing financial planning into accountancy practices in Australia and New Zealand and Singapore. We've also just opened offices in Hong Kong. The real success to our business model is the fact that we marry up, for want of a better word, financial planners with accountants. Now, we have in the past simply licensed accountants, and we found that didn't necessarily give the amount of business penetration into the practice because the accountants, as we all know, are always flat out. They're always looking for some extra time, extra hours in the day. And basically what we've done is we've married the accountant and financial planner up with the view of them splitting the commission. Now, we've had many planners that turn around and say, well, look, why would I split the commission with an accountant? And we say simply because your closure rate, your success rate in the client implementing those recommendations gets extremely high when the accountant makes that recommendation. Also, what it means from the accountant's side of point of view is that he gets the opportunity to increase his earnings above his hourly rate, or getting past that hourly wall, if you like. And what it also does is gives him control over the financial planning process. And he gets remuneration. Obviously, he has to be licensed to accept that remuneration, and he is part of the service and part of the team that generate the financial planning services and the security services to the client base, but he gets a very cost-effective base to do that. And it's really a partnership, a strategic alliance that we manage. We mediate any problems, and we've been very successful at doing this in the past. We find that delivers a service to the whole accountant's practice. Everybody wins. From the client's point of view, he's very happy to have the accountant overseeing what's going on. He knows the accountant is in the loop. The accountant is very familiar with what is happening, and he gets a decent remuneration for his services. And of course, the client, well, he effectively gets the accountant's services for nothing. Because if he goes down the road, he pays full commission to somebody he doesn't know.
Right. And what do you see, Rod, as the critical issues for the accountant in this relationship?
Well, I guess the critical issue is trust. He really, I suppose, in layman's terms, we're getting the financial planner to be involved in the trust aspect that the client has towards the accountant. So then the accountant's got to feel very trusting and very confident about what the planner's offering. We only deal with certified financial planners. We've had at least 10 years' experience. And the idea of that is that, okay, the accountant slowly opens his practice. He might give 2 or 3 clients, see how they react. If the client gets a favourable feedback, he will then open up further. And I guess the real thing is trust. When the accountant trusts what the financial planner is doing and breaks down any preconceptions about what an accountant thinks a financial planner is, and when they recognise each other as professionals working in the best interests of the client, that's when we have a win-win situation, or a win-win-win, including the client.
Yeah, good point. And what do you see as the future for the CPA in this relationship?
Well, I think the CPA, it's an area that CPAs ought to be involved in one way or another, simply because their clients are usually looking for that sort of advice from their accountant. It's an area that can be very cost-effective for accountants, and with continuing hours increasing on the accountancy side of things, and other professions basically interfering into the accountancy work or making penetration into what the accountant used to do, such as tax lawyers and so forth. I think it's a great way of an accountant to diversify his business. The other thing that's a very major factor is the fact that there's trail commissions involved, and what it really does, it adds real value to the accountant's practice. Over time, that trail commission builds up, and when that's capitalised, that is a big value to his practice in the long term. And I think that's a way that I think all accountants, it's a worldwide trend. Certainly it's been our experience that Australia and America are ahead of anyone else, of Canada or Britain or any of the European countries in implementing this thing. And it's basically because the CPA professional body here hasn't been adverse to it. Since they've allowed them to take it with a licence, it's made a big difference.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's Rod Allan Vice President of Business Development for Professional Investment Services. Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.